Hello everyone, my name is Zoran and welcome back to another reaction video where today we're gonna be reacting to the trailer for Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2. This trailer dropped a few days ago, so now we're gonna be reacting to it. Oh, and Scooby's back. Scooby, say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Yeah, he's gonna be joining us for today, like in my previous reaction videos. And if you guys want me to include him in more videos, let me know in the comments below. As always, I'm gonna be reacting to this trailer and breaking it down scene by scene, looking at the tiny details you might have missed. But without further ado, let's jump straight in.
Hear that?
This is not Kong.
And it's not Godzilla. This is something bigger.
The sun just went behind the clouds.
We opened the rift to another world.
There's darkness all around.
I did it. I pressed the button. I let the genie out of the bottle.
What's next?
I've just destroyed the world.
Consequences.
I'm living in.
This Titan
I'm living in.
is like a god. And the sea creatures worship it.
Hundreds of thousands are in the path of this monster. And we don't know what it wants.
I'm gonna find a way to set things right. I promise. To destroy a monster takes another monster. We need Kong and Godzilla.
What if they make the situation worse? You're trying to play God. No man should play God.
I've lost people I loved. Don't make the same mistake I did.
In the end, only one thing matters. Who wins?
That was cool. Alright, now that we've reacted to the trailer, let's break it down. As always, I put it on mute so we can break it down easily. The trailer starts off with a Monarch ship heading into Skull Island for some unknown reason. Then we hear Kate saying, "Do you hear that?" as water ripples inside the boat, which is implying that something big is heading their way, and which could be Titan X, and the way Titan X is able to make the water ripple inside the boat is very similar to how Godzilla is, and the way Titan X is able to make water ripple when it arrives is similar to how Godzilla is able to create tsunamis and vibrations when he arrives. Then we see Titan X swimming, and it looks like this season will be taking inspiration from Godzilla -1. And we hear Tim saying, "This is not Kong," and we hear Oldie Shaw saying, "It's not Godzilla." Next we see Titan X approaching this group of cargo ships, but it's moving away. For fact, fun fact, it's been revealed that the gender of Titan X is female. So yeah, and then we see Titan X moving away from these ships for some unknown reason. It could be that she senses Godzilla, or someone else, or maybe Monarch scientists are testing some architects, since this show takes place way before the events of Godzilla King of the Monsters. Next we see giant tentacles Next we see the tentacles of Titan X destroying this boat, which is killing this Monarch employee. Yeah, we see her destroying the boat and killing the Monarch employee. Next we see a pair of helicopters entering Skull Island via the storm, very similar to that scene in Kong Skull Island. Next we see a Hollow Earth portal being opened, and we see Titan X emerging from the mountain she was sleeping in. Kate then says that she opened the portal. Kate then says she opened the portal to Axis Mundi to help Lee Shaw. Unfortunately, that Hollow Earth portal woke up Titan X, who will now be entering the surface world to cause havoc. Next, we see the close-up of this Monarch boat, which could be some sort of research facility, which is going to be handy when studying Titan X. Next we see Next we see a group of leafwings flying in Skull Island. The leafwings are literally like a recurring creature in this franchise. They first appeared in Kong Skull Island, then they reappeared in Godzilla vs. Kong, and then they reappeared again in Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. Next, we see Kate having a moment with Titan X, similar to how she had a moment with Godzilla in Season 1. And we see that Titan X possesses bioluminescence like Godzilla and Mothra. Yeah, we see that her dorsal formations actually glow. However, even though Titan X's eyes and dorsal formations glow like Godzilla's eyes and dorsal formations, I don't think Titan X will have atomic breath, simply because this creature isn't related to Godzilla in any way. So she might possess like a different breath weapon. I mean, Shimo had spikes on her back, and when they glowed, she breathed ice. So this creature might have a different kind of breath weapon. Next, we see the little crustacean creatures exiting from this hole. And throughout this scene, Keiko says that Titan X is like a god. And throughout the scene, Keiko states that Titan X is like a god, or should I say goddess, and these creatures worship it. Which means that these little creatures probably act like a cult, with Titan X as their ringleader. Next we see Lee and Keiko Next we see young Lee and Keiko entering this house to protect themselves from these little sea creatures. Next, we see a giant tentacle break this house, and then we see Titanex along with the sea creatures swimming in the ocean, and we see that Titanex's dorsal formation. And we see that Titanex's dorsal formations glow pink, similar to Tiamat and evolved Godzilla. This could mean that Titanex probably has. This probably means that Titanex's dorsal formations glow different colors to symbolize mood. Like blue might be gentle and calm, whereas pink might be angry and frustrated, similar to when Mothra's bioluminescence glow different colors. Next we see Kentaro uniting with next we see Kentaro with his mother in Japan, and he's also with A in this and this could be a flashback. And fun fact, it looks like there's two different Titans in this area, since these soldiers are firing in a different direction. Meaning we could see a fight between Godzilla and Titanex happening. We also see the tail of Godzilla on this side. Next, we see Old Lee Shaw telling Kate that he'll make things right, and based on their attire, it looks like they're at a funeral, meaning somebody died here. Next, we see Titanex swimming towards this storm, which aligns perfectly, and this scene aligns perfectly with this scene here, which shows Godzilla emerging from the water, meaning we might see a battle between Titanex and Godzilla happening in the ocean. And it looks like this battle might happen off the coast of Skull Island, since we know that Skull Island is actually like surrounded by a storm. Fun fact: after the great apes lost, after Kong's ancestors lost again, after Kong's ancestors lost to Godzilla's ancestors, they flee to Skull Island and used and the storm actually protected themselves from Godzilla's ancestors, who are actually hunting them down. Next we see an overhead shot of Skull Island, and we see the Manoclaw returning from season 1. It probably won against its fight with the mother Longlegs. Next we see Lee and probably Keiko in a bone bed, which is very similar to they're roaming in a graveyard. The same graveyard they're roaming in a graveyard. The same graveyard that was shown in Kong's Skull Island. Which means we might see the skull crawlers again, because they were disrespected throughout the series, because they were disrespected throughout the franchise. I mean, the Skull Island animated show just showed them briefly, and in Godzilla vs. Kong, the skull crawler was brutally murdered by Mechagodzilla, so we might see it again. Next we see Titanex fleeing to the ocean as Kong chases her. and then he turns around and roars. Lee Shaw then states that it takes a monster. Lee Shaw then states that they need a monster to take down another monster. Meaning they might lure Kong and Godzilla to Titan X, similar to how Monarch lured Rodan to King Ghidorah. Next we see the wreckage that happened in Skull Island, meaning this could be the aftermath of what happened there. Next we see Kong smashing through Apex. Next we see Kong smashing through the Apex outpost. He's smashing through this out. Yeah, we see Kong smashing through this outpost for unknown reasons. This is maybe because he wants to stop other Titans from reaching the surface. But we already know another Titan will be reaching the surface anyway, so this wreckage won't solve that problem. Next we see young Lee Shaw running from this weird crustacean creature, which could be the same sea creatures that worship Titan X. Next we see a fighter jet. Next we see fighter jets shooting missiles at Godzilla. Godzilla was seen less in the teaser, so it's good to see him again. And next we see fighter jets closing in on Titan X, and then Titan X uses her tentacles to destroy one of them. And the fighter oh come on, really? And the jet that's going towards Titan X looks very similar to that Monarch aircraft in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Like the Monarch aircraft that Mark Russell and the rest of his crew were in to look for Madison. You know the one I'm talking about. Next we see Godzilla approaching Tokyo, and it looked like the power's been cut out, because we see all of the buildings, all of the lights in the buildings have been shut out, with only the flames engulfing them being with only the light of the flames being shown. This probably shows how terrifying Godzilla is. And it's really good. Yep. Next we see the tentacle of Titan X grabbing this person, which could be Director Verdugo, who's actually the boss of Monarch. And the way she's being killed by Titan X is very similar to how Vivian Graham got killed by Ghidorah in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Next we see this weird... Oh, come on. Okay, look, some of these scenes are really quick, so... Next we see this giant plant-like creature killing this person, which could be the Vine Strangler. If you guys didn't know, the Vine Strangler is some weird plant-like creature which disguises itself in the trees. And when a person or creature walks underneath it, it'll put its slimy tentacles on them and use those tentacles to drag them into its mouth. Then it'll digest them and leave nothing but a pile of bones. And the way this guy's being dragged up is very similar to how one of the soldiers got dragged up by the Mother Longlegs in Kong Skull Island. We also see May getting eaten by the Next we see May almost getting killed by the Vine Strangler, but we do see Kentaro but we then see Kentaro pulling her. It's probably Kentaro. Next we see the face of Titan X, which looks very similar to Godzilla's face. They're not related, however, okay? I just said, okay? They're not related. Next, we see Titan X looking over at the protagonists, and if you look closely, it's got like very long, skinny teeth. Which meaning these teeth are probably for like slicing up meat then crushing it. Meaning these teeth might be used for slicing meat rather than crushing bone. And we see that Titan X's horns are pink, very similar to Godzilla's dorsal plates and its fins. And it looks like Lee, Keiko, and Kate will be luring Titan X to Kong. Yeah, it looks like Lee, Keiko, Kate. It looks like Lee, Keiko, Kate. Yeah, it looks like Lee, Keiko, Kate, May, Kentaro, and Hiroshi might be luring Titan X and Kong towards each other, very similar to how the Monarch aircraft lured Rodan towards Ghidorah. They might be doing the same with Godzilla as well. Again, very similar. Yeah, they might be luring Kong. They might be luring Titan X to Godzilla as well. Very similar. Again, they might be luring Titan X to Godzilla as well. Very similar to how the Monarch scientists lured Rodan to Ghidorah. Next we see Kong facing off against Titan X. And fun fact, it's been revealed that Titan X will fight Kong first and then Godzilla. So this might be episode 1 or 2. So maybe Kong will be fighting Titan X in episodes 1 and 2. So maybe Kong will be fighting Titan X in episodes 1 and 2. So maybe Titan X will be fighting Kong in episodes 1 and 2, and then it'll probably fight Godzilla, and then she'll probably fight Godzilla in the season finale, I believe. Similar to how Godzilla fought the Ion Dragon in the finale of season 1. Fun fact: a lot of people have been theorizing that Kong and Godzilla might fight in this season. In Godzilla vs. Kong, it was revealed that in Godzilla vs. Kong, it was revealed that Godzilla and Kong should not cross paths. They actively avoided it, but there was no real explanation as to why, aside from them both being Alpha Titans. So they might have their first fight in this. Yeah, and in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, it was revealed. And in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, it was revealed that Godzilla and Kong shouldn't enter each other's territories because that could lead to a fight, and we already know. But Kong does go up to the surface to ask Godzilla for help, and he didn't, and that went badly for him. So we might see Kong and Godzilla having their first fight in this season. And then we cut to the title card. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.